Geneva Convention, Third Protocol, Red Crystal Emblem Amendment Bill, first reading.
The Honourable Tony Ryall.
Mr Speaker, I move that the Geneva Convention's Third Protocol Red Crystal Emblem Amendment Bill be now read a first time. I nominate the Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Committee to consider the bill. This bill contains the legislative provisions needed for New Zealand to become a party to the Third Additional Protocol to the Geneva Conventions of 1949. The Third Protocol establishes a new Geneva Conventions emblem, commonly referred to as the Red Crystal, for use alongside the Red Cross and the Red Crescent. This emblem may be used as a protective symbol to identify medical and religious personnel, hospitals, ambulances and other medical transports in armed conflicts, where the existing Red Cross and Red Crescent emblems may be seen to have religious or political connotations that were never intended. The new emblem is a red frame in the shape of a square on edge on a white background. It's intended to be free from any national, religious, cultural or political connotations. The new emblem, Mr Speaker, has a lengthy history. The International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement recognised the need for an appropriate emblem in cases where parties to conflict for various reasons did not want to use either the Red Cross or the Red Crescent emblem, and the lack of a suitable emblem in such situations significantly diminishes the protections that can be afforded to victims of war and to medical personnel, hospitals and medical transports. The development of the new emblem also recognises the needs of countries where other emblems have been used for many years, and one example of this is in Israel, where an organisation which is equivalent of national societies in other countries, such as the New Zealand Red Cross. The Israeli organisation asserted that it should be able to use the Red Shield of David in its domestic activities. Meanwhile, other national societies, such as in Eritrea, wished to use both the Red Cross and the Red Crescent together, and such arrangements were not possible under the previous rules. The adoption of the Third Protocol and the recognition of the new Red Crystal emblem means that those national societies are no longer required to choose between the Red Cross and the Red Crescent. Instead, they can use the appropriate emblem consistently with the Geneva Conventions, their own traditions and the rules of the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement. Any other national society that wishes to can use the Red Crystal in accordance with the provisions of the Third Protocols. I'm advised that following the adoption of the Third Protocol, both the MDA of Israel and the Palestine Red Crescent Society were admitted as full members of the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent for the first time and were formally recognised by the ICRC. New Zealand signed the Third Protocol in 2006, and the Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Committee, as members will know, have conducted the international treaty examination of the Third Protocol in 2007 and report that it has no matters to bring to the attention of the House. And while not considering ratification of the Third Protocol to be a matter of urgency for the Government, the Committee stated that it supports the ratification. The ratification will mean that New Zealand will be party to all the treaties that comprise the Geneva Conventions and their protocols, which are the core instruments of international humanitarian law. And although the New Zealand Defence Force will continue to use the Red Cross symbol, it is essential that our armed forces personnel know the significance of the new Red Crystal symbol when used by other forces or civilian facilities, and they respect the legal protections that apply to it afforded by this legislation. To date, the Third Protocol has been signed by 90 countries, while 60 countries have either ratified or acceded to it, including Australia, Canada, the United States, and many European countries. The bill itself amends the Geneva Conventions Act 1958 and extends the protection provided to the Red Cross and the Red Crescent to the Red Crystal. The bill also makes a number of minor and technical amendments to existing legislation, and I just thought I'd run through those. The bill amends Section 2 of the Conventions Act by including and adjusting definitions relevant to the Third Protocol. The bill amends Section 8 of the Conventions Act to include the Red Crystal in the list of protected emblems. The bill also updates some of the language in Section 8 and provides an exemption from the offence provisions where a trademark is registered prior to this amending bill entering into force. The bill also increases the penalty for an offence under Section 8 of the Geneva Conventions Act from a fine of up to $1,000 to a fine of up to $10,000. And this level of maximum penalty better reflects the seriousness of the misuse of any of the emblems and brings the level of penalty into line with contemporary law. The bill amends Section 10 of the Act, which provides the Act's application to the Cook Islands, Niue, Tokelau, and replacement sections provide for the Act's application to Tokelau alone, as both Niue and the Cook Islands have equivalent stand-alone legislation. The Act also adds a new schedule to the Act. The bill also adds a new schedule to the Act, which consists of the text of the third protocol itself. And finally, the bill makes a number of consequential amendments to the flags and emblems legislation. I'm sure as many members know that in many of theatres of conflict, many look towards the ability of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent to provide much needed support and care at most vulnerable times. Those are symbols that are internationally recognised. We're all aware of that, and this legislation allows us to bring into effect those sort of protections that are afforded to the Red Crystal. So the bill therefore reaffirms New Zealand's long-standing position as a supporter of the conventions and the role that the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement have in providing this assistance to vulnerable people throughout the world, and we commend this bill to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. The Honourable